Estamos esperando por la segunda artista.
Good morning. Do we have the interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we have
Good morning, Your Honor.
Valenzuela Gomez here. So I am going to call the case. Sir, could you please tell me your name?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Me puede decir su nombre, por favor?
Edison Valenzuela.
Edison Valenzuela.
Sir, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges.
Señor, esta es su comparecencia inicial. A usted lo arrestaron a causa de unos cargos.
Charges are child, vulnerable, and disorderly conduct with a weapon and disorderly conduct fighting.
Estos cargos son de abuso de una persona vulnerable o de un menor de edad, alteración del orden público usando una arma y alteración del orden público por una pelea.
They are all alleged to be acts of domestic violence.
Todos estos se presume que son actos de violencia doméstica.
And sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you.
Señor, usted tiene derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que usted diga se puede usar en su contra.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir.
Tiene el derecho de contar con la representación legal de un abogado. Voy a nombrar a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente.
So as it relates to the felony matter, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services.
Con respecto a la información de la felonía o el delito mayor, ya leí la información que me entregó la agencia previa al juicio,
From complaint and the state's recommendation of $20,000.
la queja interina y la recomendación de la fiscalía por una fianza de $20,000.
Ms. Mahalik, anything further you'd like to add?
Yes, Your Honor. At the time of our submittal, we did not have the full information from the pretrial services report, so the state would amend the recommendation to a $5,000 bond given the violent nature of the offense
Yes.
and the lack of criminal history.
And no acts of criminal history, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Thank you. Le preguntan a la abogada Milholic si ella tiene algo más que agregar. Y sí, su señoría. Al momento que revisé la información, todavía no tenía la información que presentó la agencia previa al juicio. Entonces, quisiera solicitar que la fiscalía reduciera la fianza a $5,000, ya que él no tiene ningún antecedente de cargos penales.
All right, thank you. Mr. Santini.
Judge, weighing towards Mr. Valenzuela's release this morning. This is his first time being involved in the criminal justice system. He has no prior history. He's full-time employed, and he's indicated that he can live with either his mom or his brother, which is separate away from the victim.
Le preguntan al señor Santini si tiene algo que agregar. Dice, sí, su señoría. Esta mañana lo que quiero solicitar es que salga en libertad el señor Valenzuela. Es la primera vez que tiene que ver algo o alguna con respecto al sistema de justicia penal. Él no tiene ningún historial penal previo, tiene trabajo de tiempo completo y si lo dejan salir, él puede quedarse a vivir en la casa de su mamá o en la casa de su hermano y es por separado de donde está la víctima.
He has longtime community ties to Tucson, so he's not a flight risk. And given that he has that other community, he can stay separate and not be a risk to the victim.
Él tiene lazos aquí en la comunidad, en la ciudad de Tucson, y ya que cuenta con estos lazos en la comunidad, ya no le causa un riesgo a la víctima.
If you're not inclined to release him this morning, Judge, we would ask for a more reasonable $1,100 bond given his indigency.
Su señoría, si usted no está considerando dejarlo en libertad el día de hoy, entonces le solicitamos que por favor su señoría ponga una fianza de $1,100 a causa de que es indigente.
Thank you. Given
Gracias.
the information that's before the court is going to impose a $3,000 cash or secured bond.
Dada la información que actualmente tiene el juez va a imponer una fianza de $3,000. Esto puede ser garantizado o en efectivo.
Sir, if you post that bond and find yourself out of custody, you're going to be supervised by pretrial services.
Señor, si usted paga esta fianza y lo dejan salir en libertad, usted tiene que reportarse con la agencia previa al juicio porque lo van a supervisar.
Possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and commit no acts of domestic violence.
Usted no puede tener ni poseer ningún arma de fuego o armas, no puede tener ni poseer una bebida alcohólica, ni tomar bebidas alcohólicas o drogas ilícitas, y tampoco no puede cometer ningún otro acto de violencia doméstica.
You must have no contact with the alleged victim.
No puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima.
That's Ms. Herrera. That means no contact in or out of the jail.
Eso es con la señora o señorita Herrera. Eso quiere decir que no puede tener contacto con ella ni dentro de la cárcel ni fuera de la cárcel.
That means telephonic, anything. You cannot be contacting the victim, and you may also not go back to the victim's residence or place of work.
Eso significa que ni siquiera por teléfono no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima. Tampoco no puede ir al lugar donde vive la víctima ni donde trabaja la víctima.
I'm setting a preliminary hearing on December 15th, 1:30 in the afternoon.
Estoy fijando una audiencia preliminar para el 15 de diciembre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
Please stay in contact with your attorney, sir. It's important to note that if you do not show up to a future court date, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Señor, por favor manténgase en contacto con su abogado. Es importante que tome nota que si no se presenta en la corte en sus audiencias, se puede emitir una orden por su arresto. ¿Usted comprende esto, señor?
Sí, sí.
Yes,
In your
yes.
honor. May I also request no contact with the minor child?
I'm going to add the condition additionally that you have no contact with the minor child, whose name I do not have. or initials I do not have, but you should know who that is.
La abogada fiscal, ella solicitó a su señoría que por favor agregue que uno de los requisitos es que usted no pueda tener ningún tipo de contacto con el menor de edad. El juez indicó, sí, yo iba a agregar eso como un requisito de su libertad condicional, de que usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con este menor, del cual no tengo el nombre ni las iniciales. Pero no sé cómo se llama, pero usted debe saber quién es.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And that takes care of the felony matter. We now have to talk about the city court matter.
Muy bien, gracias. Con eso ya terminamos con respecto a la felonía o su delito mayor. Ahora vamos a hablar con respecto al caso de la ciudad.
Ujú.
And that is from the same incident. It alleges one count of disorderly conduct fighting.
Y esto es del mismo incidente. En este incidente se alega el mismo tipo de un cargo de alteración del orden público por una pelea.
Okay, I'm going to release you on that charge, sir.
Y en ese cargo lo voy a dejar salir en libertad, señor.
Again, have no contact with the victim.
De nuevo, no puede tener contacto con la víctima,
Do not return to the incident location.
no regrese al lugar del incidente.
I am going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir.
Voy a nombrar a la oficina del defensor público de la ciudad para que alguien de ahí lo represente a usted, señor.
And the next court date will be in front of Judge Million in the city court.
Y su próxima audiencia va a ser en la corte de la ciudad, City Court, con el juez Million.
January 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Esto va a ser el 13 de enero a la 1:30 de la tarde.
And you will receive paperwork to tell you.
Y le van a dar documentos con información que tiene todo esto escrito.
Thank you, sir. You are excused.
Gracias, señor. Ya terminamos. Se puede retirar.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
And I believe that's it for Spanish speakers unless I'm missing something. So Madam Interpreter, you may be excused as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter is disconnecting.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Garcia.
I'm sorry.
Your name. My name.
Yes, sir.
What's that? Edison D.
Your name.
My name.
Yes.
Edison D. Venezuela Gomez.
That's the individual that we just saw. So is your name Mr. Avila? Are you?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. First name Savigny or something like
Yes, sir.
that? Okay. Phil
Yeah.
Bain, middle name. All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Avila, you are here for a initial appearance. I'm sorry. I believe it's a review hearing. You've got some matters going on in Superior Court, as I suspect you know. Those matters are still pending. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a new review hearing. It's going to be on January 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's going to be probably the same way that you're appearing this morning. And that's just to check and see what the status is as it relates to the matters that you have holds on. And make sure that once you're all done with that, you can get shipped back to Pinal County once that's all concluded. Okay?
Just don't kill me, man. All right.
I will promise you that. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Chase Arthur Brewer.
All right, so Mr. Brewer, you are here for a review hearing. It looks like you still have some local matters besides the fugitive warrant matter that are still pending. So for that reason, we're going to set a new review hearing. It's going to be on January 5th at 9 o'clock in the morning. The reason why we set this, as you may know, is to see what the status is of the other matters that are happening here locally. Because once those wrap up, you are free to then go back to what appears to be Cochise County, Sierra Vista, to deal with the matter that you have going on out of there. But we don't want to let you go until the things here wrap up. So for that reason, we're going to set that review hearing, see where things are at on January 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll probably be seen the same way that you're being seen this morning from video from the jail. Okay?
Question?
Sure.
See, so this is, I don't understand when, like, I've been working the last 11 years. I never heard about this warrant until just recently when I got the new charge. Like, I haven't been in no trouble.
Yeah.
So what is this like even about? Like,
Yeah, give me just a second. I'll let you know. One thing I do want to advise you, sir, is that you have the right to remain silent. I'm not saying that that's a bad question. I'd be wondering the same thing if I were you. It's just as I tell you a little bit of information about the case, please do not blurt out anything that you may recall about what did or did not happen. Does that make sense?
absolutely. Yes, sir. I just don't know about it.
Yeah, so you're good. So the information I have is that one of the matters that you're being held on is from 2015. It alleges that you possessed a dangerous drug back on May 7th of 2015. You have other charges that I show you being held on besides that. That includes a new felony matter that appears to be out of Superior Court involving alleging that you possessed a weapon as a prohibited possessor. There's also some other stuff out of the other counties that I mentioned. So in any event, you got a few things going on here. So as those things wrap up here locally, you should be able to then make your way back to Cochise County to take care of what's going on down there. Does that make sense?
It does, sir. So this wasn't a Cochise County court date?
No. The court date that I just gave you, that January 5th court date, sir, is going to be here in Pima County. And then usually what happens, one of two things will happen. Either all your local stuff will wrap up, and then you will wrap up before January 5th, and then you will be back to Cochise County by then. That's option one. Option two is that things are still working themselves out here locally, in which case we'll see you on January 5th, and we'll pick a new court date just to, again, see if we can get things resolved between the January 5th court date and the following one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understood the Tucson charges. I just don't know what I have out of Cochise County. I don't know. I just don't know what even the charges are. And that's my highest bond. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, so I don't have perfectly clear information on that, but it looks like
Okay.
may allege some trafficking and stolen property, possession of marijuana for sale, things like that. But I can't say that for certain. That's just the
Yes, sir.
information that I'm seeing on the jail website.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, you could certainly get more information on that. And also, by the way, assuming that those are felony charges down in Cochise County, which they are, if this information is correct, you'll have an attorney that's appointed on those matters as well. It can help guide you through the process down there as well. Okay.
All right. And there's no chance of getting any kind of bail reduction today at all in like current cases here because I got such high ones out of Cochise.
Yeah, I actually don't have control over that. You'd think I might, but I actually don't. What can happen is your attorneys or your attorney on the local matter. So your attorney that's handling your new felony case out of Pima County Superior Court and your old felony case out of Pima County Superior Court can file a motion with the judge to get that addressed. So you can have it done. We just can't do it this morning.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Have a good
Thank
day. You got it.
Mr. President, attention.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Summer.
Lisa Marie Kamick.
All right, so you, ma'am, are here on a review hearing on a fugitive warrant matter that appears to be out of Maricopa County Superior Court. But you do still have some local matters here in Pima County that are working their way towards resolution. It looks like you may have an upcoming hearing in Superior Court, I suspect. In any event, we're going to set a review hearing on this matter. It's going to be for Monday, January 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. And if the local matters that you have in Pima County get resolved by then you will probably be back to Maricopa County before that January 5th date. If they haven't resolved then by that date, then we'll pick another court date and see where things are at between January 5th and that future court date. Does that make sense?
Yes, there's no way to run my time concurrent.
That
My
could be
mayor-
possible. I mean, that could be possible. That's going to be something you're going to need to talk to your attorney about on the local matter down here. Because
Okay.
sometimes, basically the long and short of it is that Pima County Superior Court doesn't really have a way to bind or require Maricopa County to do anything and vice versa. So
Okay.
like there's sometimes you can make that happen, but it can be a little tricky, but just talk to your attorney about it. I don't want to be giving legal advice either, but sometimes that can be arranged. Okay.
Okay. So January 5th?
That's right.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
All right, bye-bye.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Anthony Atkins.
Alrighty, Mr. Atkins. So I'm seeing you on a variety of different matters. Some are out of Pima County Justice Court, some are out of Tucson City Court. Let me start with the Justice Court matters. The first matter that I'm seeing you on out of Justice Court, it alleges that you failed to appear on a charge of criminal trespass. The second charge at Pima County Justice Court alleges that you failed to appear on a charge relating to possession of drug paraphernalia. As to each of these cases, sir, I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond. And first of all, you do have the right to remain silent as it relates to any of these allegations that we're talking about. Because I'm holding you on a bond, sir, I am going to appoint an attorney. That attorney is going to be Alexander Ball. He's going to be able to help you out, sir, to navigate these cases and see what can be done.
I can't ask for release.
No, sir. The reason why I'm holding you is because I see a substantial failure to appear history. We're talking about, I think, at least 6 different cases here this morning. So for that reason, I am going to hold the bond. But your next hearing is going to be pretty quick. Your hearing on the Justice Court matter is going to be tomorrow. That's going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Pima County Justice Court. Assuming that you're still in custody at that time, sir, you will be seen probably by video. You might be brought. I don't know for that for certain, but either way, you'll be seen tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Then Judge Ball will be there, so it might be possible for you to get these things resolved pretty quickly. And
What
then,
about time served for the
that might be possible. It might be possible to do that, but that's something that you're going to have to wait to figure out tomorrow. You may be able to have that happen, but that's not up to me. And then moving on to give me just a moment. Moving on to these, just. All right, and then as to the city matters, I've seen you on a whole bunch of different matters that allege failures to appear concerning multiple counts of criminal trespass in the third degree, multiple counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, multiple counts of possession of a prescription only drug, and that covers it. So again, sir, I'm gonna advise you that you have the right to remain silent as it relates to these matters. I am going to set a bond in these matters in the amount of $1,000. You're going to be seen in city court pretty quickly. Your hearing in city court is going to be on the 9th, which is next Tuesday. And so I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. If you, it's going to be on the 9th at 1:45 in the afternoon. I'm ordering, sir, that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. Again, the city public defender is going to represent you on that. And one of the things, sir, on these city court matters, it is the time for your arraignment, sir. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf as it relates to all of the city court matters that we're talking about this morning. Need to advise you of a couple things, sir. It's really important that you come back to court on all of these hearings. If you're going to be in custody, that makes it a little easier, of course. But if you're out of custody, sir, then you need to come back to court, because if you do not appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And additionally, if you do not appear, then it's possible, if not likely, that trial could go forward in your absence. And if trial does go forward in your absence and you cannot be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the right to appeal any conviction that may have occurred. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Chamber.
I didn't note the hold on that. Sorry, you check that. Yeah, I'll get it. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
But
Please tell me your name.
in the chambers,
Just a moment. Okay, Mr. Chambers, I'm seeing you on a few different matters, one of which is out of Pima County Justice Court. I'm going to talk about that first, and then we have some matters out of Tucson City Court as well. The matter out of Pima County Justice Court alleges that you possessed drug paraphernalia. It looks like that happened late, 7 o'clock last night, thereabouts. On that, sir, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You do have a right to remain silent as it relates to any of the matters that we're talking about this morning. You also do have a right to an attorney, sir. I am going to appoint an attorney for you, and his name is Alexander Ball. And what we're going to do is we're going to set a hearing. It's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so a little over 24 hours from now. And that's going to be in Justice Court. And at that time, sir, you'll have a chance to talk with Mr. Ball, and then see what is or is not possible on these cases. And then moving on to the city matters. Seeing you on a few different things. A variety of failures to appear. A handful of counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, a handful of counts of criminal trespass in the third degree, and then 1 count of criminal trespass in the second degree. So as to those, sir, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf again. I'm going to hold you on a $500 bond as it relates to these matters as well. And I'm going to set your next hearing. It's going to be a video review. It's a video review on December 9th at 1:45 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in front of Judge Hale. So I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. wherein that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages as well. And then that hearing in front of, as I said, is going to be a video review. Also, sir, as it relates to these matters, this is the time set for your arraignment and all of these city court matters. We need to cover a couple things on that. So first of all, sir, you are presumed innocent as it relates to all of these matters. Additionally, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. I've told you what the next court date is, sir. It's important that you come back to that court date on December 9th if you are out of custody. If you're still in custody, please, come to court for it or be seen on video for it. If you do not appear at a future hearing, sir, then it's important to note that you could be convicted in your absence. A warrant could issue for your arrest. And if you are not sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all this, sir? Sir?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You are excused.
Mr. Dewas. Dewas.
All right. I got to check the date. Whole thing. Yeah. Sorry. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name.
Joe Dewas.
Okay, just a moment. So, Mr. Dewas, I'm seeing you on a couple of matters. The first thing is out of Pima County Justice Court. And that alleges that you committed driving under the influence, which is alleged to have happened this morning about 3 o'clock in this morning, I should say, out on the east side, Pantano and Wrightston. And so you, sir, have a right to remain silent as it relates to any of the matters that we're talking about this morning. I am going to appoint an attorney for you, sir. Well, just a moment. So I am going to release you on this matter, sir. Yeah, just a moment though. Actually, hang on just a second. Hang on.
Oh,
I may have spoken too soon, but give me just a moment, sir. Just need to check something. Okay, sir, I am going to release you, but really important that you come back to court. All right, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but because I mean, I think you see what happens because some of what we're talking about this morning involves warrants alleging that you failed to appear on a city court matter, at least one city court matter. So really important that you come back to court. So I'm taking a chance by releasing you.
I'll do your.
But I think you know what you need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an out of custody date on the justice court matter that you were just arrested on.
Okay.
But I'm also going to appoint an attorney because it alleges a driving under the influence offense, which means that the state may or probably will be seeking jail time in relation to that. So for that reason, I'm appointing Alexander Ball to represent you, sir. Your next court date is going to be an out of custody arraignment. That's going to be on December 15th. So that's Monday, December 15th, 8:30 in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says this, sir. Other conditions besides the importance of coming back to court are that you consume or possess no alcohol or illegal drugs. You do not drive with a valid license. Are you willing to follow those directives, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So in light of that, I'm going to release you as it relates to the justice court matter, but we need to talk about the city court matter in just a moment here. So give me a moment. this question, so it looks like this was a sponge, so why did I see it all that? That makes sense. Okay, so seeing you on a couple Tucson City Court matters, both of which allege failures to appear. So as it relates to the city court matters, I am going to release you on these matters as well. But again, very important that you come back to courts. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Just give me 1 moment. Your next court date is going to be on January 15th at 9:30 in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says this. It's going to be in front of Judge Cranshaw. And it's a condition of your release on the city court matter, sir. Again, you may not drive without a valid license, possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. I am going to, it looks like it relates to, yeah, this relates to a post-conviction matter. So it looks like you may have been ordered to do something in relation to a DUI conviction, but then failed to do it on the city court case. So that's why the warrant issued for your arrest. In any event, your next hearing is going to be on January 15th, like I said. And then I'm also seeing you on another warrant alleging potentially another driving under the influence allegation out of Tucson City Court, sir. And so in any event, I am releasing you on those matters. It's super important that you not drive without a valid license, that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. It's important for you to know as well, sir, that under Arizona law, if you continue to get arrested for driving under the influence allegations, those can quickly turn into felonies. You have not reached the point where that occurs, so far as I can tell. But if it happens again, while these cases are pending or in, frankly, the next few years, then you are looking at felony charges and potential prison time. Do you understand that, sir?
Understood.
Okay. All right. I believe we're done here, sir. You are excused. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Lucas Armendariz.
All right. Mr. Armendariz, I'm seeing you on new charges that allege various acts of domestic violence, specifically four counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, 1 count of criminal damage alleged to be an act of domestic violence. You, sir, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. If I release you, sir, are you willing to follow certain specific conditions that I give you, specifically that you have no contact of any kind with the minor victims, Donna Armenta or Emma Armenta? Are you willing to follow those conditions, sir?
So,
Are you also willing to not return to the victim's residence or the incident location?
so,
Okay. In light of that, I am willing to release you, sir. Your next court date is going to be on January 5th, 2026, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in front of Judge Verena at Tucson City Court for a pretrial hearing. And so I'm also ordering, sir, that you commit no further acts of domestic violence. I am not going to appoint an attorney, but you certainly have the right to do that if you want to do that, sir. This is also the time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. And a couple important things to note on this, sir, is that first of all, you need to come back to court, because if you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Additionally, if you do not come back to court, the trial in these matters could go forward in your absence. And if you're convicted without you being there and could not be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all that, sir?
yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much. And one of the things, so the residence, the incident location, were you living there?
No.
Okay. And so do you have any personal belongings at the incident location that you need to get? I'm guessing the answer is no, but
I think my wallet. If not, then I have it.
okay. Well, what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to check a box on the paperwork that you get that you may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. So there's a process for doing that the jail may have more information on if you contact the Tucson Police Department. They'll definitely have more information on that. But the idea is that you go back over there one time with a TPD cop, and then you can get what you need to get, and then you don't go back. Understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
You as well.
It's Bogart.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
So, I'll catch him on board our box.
All right. So this is your initial appearance, sir. You've been charged with a variety of different domestic violence charges that are alleged to have happened both on October 12th, 2025, on November 27th, 2025. The October 12th incident involves allegations of assault, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass in the third degree, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. The November 27th incident alleges assault, disorderly conduct, theft, and criminal damage, again, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. You, sir, are presumed innocent as it relates to all of these charges. Give me just a moment. So I am going to hold you, sir, on a bond of $1,000. That's like a $1,000 cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, sir, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. You commit no acts of domestic violence. You possess no firearms or weapons. You have no contact of any kind with the victim, who I believe is Sun Y Dashi. I might be saying that wrong. Do not go back to the victim's residence or incident location. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir. Your next hearing is going to be a video review in front of Judge Million. It's going to be on December 10th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so I believe that covers it, other than to advise you, sir, that if you do bond out, you find yourself out of custody one way or another, sir, it's really important that you come back to court, because if you don't come back to court, trial could go forward on your behalf without you being there. And if you're convicted, sir, and you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose the right to appeal your case. I'm also going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf as it relates to all of these offenses, if I haven't already said that. Do you understand this, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Brennan.
Which chair?
Yes.
This one? Thank you.
Good morning. Could you please tell me your name?
Gabriella Beulah Brennan?
All right. And I believe we may have the victim on Teams. I see a Z Brennan on Teams.
Yes. Zachary Carl James Brennan.
All right. Give me just a second. Is Mr. Brennan, are you there? Did you want to be heard this morning? And Mr. Brennan, I'll take that as either I can't unmute it or a no. But during the hearing, if you do want to be heard as it relates to release conditions, please just unmute and let me know that, because you have a right to provide input on what you would like me to do, sir. All right, so we are here, ma'am, for an initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges that allege certain acts of domestic violence. Give me just a moment. Specifically, it's that you failed to comply with a court order. There's 3 counts of that. And so you, ma'am, are presumed innocent as it relates to those charges. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. And so I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. Notably, you're listed as a 1 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale and the failure to appear scale. Ma'am, if I release you, are you willing to follow certain very important conditions that I tell you to follow, specifically that you have no contact whatsoever with Mr. Brennan, and that you do not return to the victim's residence, and you do not return to, well, don't go back to the victim's residence. Are you willing to follow those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Then I am willing to release you. And so your next court date is going to be on January 13th, 2026 at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be an arraignment in front of Judge Million. Ma'am, you are ordered to possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, possess no firearms or weapons. We already said this, but as a reminder, have no contact of any kind, electronic, in-person, third party, anything with Zachary Brennan. Do not go back to the victim's residence. And you willing to follow those conditions?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
In that residency, they have my dog, my emotional support Ruger, and I'd like him back, please.
Okay, so it looks like this. So it looks like there may have been an existing order of protection. And again, you have the right to remain silent, so please don't tell me anything about the order that may or may not have been in place or things like that. But give me just a second. I need to check something real quick.
Yeah, there's one for 12, so nothing.
And Mr. Brennan, it looks like you've unmuted, or did you want to be heard? So I still can't hear Mr. Brennan. I'm not sure if he's trying to say something. Ma'am, at this point, I'm not going to allow you to return one time with law enforcement. I'm not going to allow that. And the reason why I say that is because it looks like there's an existing order of protection in place, which would have previously barred you from returning to the residence. So that's why I'm not doing that. However, at your next court date, which again is on January 13th, you may be able to take that up with the judge and see whether or not it's possible to have the ability to return one time to be able to retrieve the dog if in fact you're entitled to do so. Okay. So one other thing I need to tell you is that really important that you come back to court. If you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest, and the trial in this matter could go forward in your absence. If you were convicted at that trial, then it's possible that you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction if you could not be sentenced within 90 days. Do you understand all that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. You're going to get paperwork that says this.
May I ask one more question?
Sure.
May I have my vehicle from the residency? I own the vehicle and I pay insurance for it. You can have everything from it.
So that's the same issue as the dog. Because it looks like there's an active order of protection. I don't have the order of protection in front of me. So the concern I have is that by going back there to get the vehicle, even if the vehicle is lawfully yours, that you would be violating the order of protection and you would be liable to get arrested for new charges in relation to going back to a place you're not allowed to go back to. So that's the concern that I have. You can file, so the next court date is on January 13th. I realize that if that is your car, you may not be able to wait a little over a month to get it. So you may need to file a motion with Tucson City Court to see if you can get that addressed sooner than that. They might be able to have a hearing set sometime next week, and you can have that raised with the judge. It's just, I don't want to make any orders that conflict with the order of protection, because that could subject you to new arrests, if that makes sense. So that's my order. Thank you, ma'am. You are excused.
Thank you.
Rico?
Good morning. Could you please tell me your name?
I'm Jade Brito.
All right, Ms. Brito, this is your initial appearance. And I'm seeing you on some charges out of Tucson City Court that allege all acts of domestic violence, one count of assault, one count of criminal damage, one count of disorderly conduct. And so, ma'am, if I release you on this case, are you willing to follow certain specific conditions, specifically relating to having no contact with the victim, Ms. Bon Herrera, and not going back to the victim's residence or the incident location? Are you willing to do that?
Yes, but we do live in that residence, and
Right.
I was also just told that I am pregnant with the victim's child.
Okay, well, these things happen, but what I'm ordering for right now is that if you are released in this matter, that you have no contact with the victim, at least in the short term. You can have the judge address that condition at the following hearing on January 13th. It's just one of the things that I look for during these hearings is whether or not pretrial services was able to get in contact with the victim to see if they have a position on whether or not they are okay with continued contact. Looks like Mr. Herrera could not be reached. So for that reason, this morning, I am ordering that you have no contact with him and that you not go back to that residence or to the incident location in the short term, but that's something that a judge can change potentially in the future. So is that a shared residence? It sounds like it is.
Yes, and we also have other two kids there with
Okay.
us.
Okay, well, you might be able to file a motion in Tucson City Court to have that changed. And you may not need to wait till January to do it. You may be able to get that addressed like next week or something. But for today's sake, I'm ordering that you not go back to the victim's residence or the incident location. However, I am going to allow you to go back one time with law enforcement to retrieve any personal belongings that you may have at that residence. So you do have the ability to go back there. You just need to go back with the Tucson Police Department officer, get your things until the judge potentially changes the order that I've made this morning. Do you understand that, ma'am?
I do, sir.
Okay, all right. And then one other thing is that it's important that you come back to court. Your next court date, as I think I said, is on January 13th at 1:30. If you don't come back to that court date, then a warrant could issue for your arrest. Also, if you were convicted, I'm sorry, you could be tried if you don't show up to that hearing. The trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted, couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Okay, that covers it, ma'am. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Galindo.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah.
Please tell me your name.
Julian Galindo.
All right, Mr. Galindo.
Yes,
This
sir.
is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege 2 acts of domestic violence, 1 count of disorderly conduct, 1 count of criminal damage. They're both alleged to have happened on November 17th, 2025, so like 3 weeks ago. You have the right to remain silent, or anything you say about these cases could be used against you. So give me just a moment.
Sir.
So if I release you on this matter, sir, are you willing to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim who appears to be Alina Soltero and not go back to her residence? Are you willing to do that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to release you. Let me cover a couple other things with you real quick, and then you'll be on your way, sir. So your next court date, sir, is going to be a out of custody arraignment on the domestic violence charges. And that's going to be on January 13th, 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Million.
Yes, sir.
And so, as I said, I'm releasing your promise to appear, sir. Additional
Yes, sir.
conditions: you commit no acts of domestic violence, you possess no firearms or weapons. Please do not have any contact of any kind with Alina Soltero. That includes not going back to her residence. I'm assuming, perhaps incorrectly, that you did not live at that residence.
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, very good. That makes it easier. So don't go back to her residence, don't have any contact with her, and then come back to court on January 13th. One thing I got to let you know, sir, is that if you don't come back to that court date, then a warrant could issue for your arrest and a trial could go forward in your absence. And if you were convicted, sir, without being there to be there at your own trial, then you could lose your right to appeal that conviction if you could not be sentenced within 90 days. Do you understand all this?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're good to go, sir. You are excused.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chalaveles.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Would you please tell me your name?
I'm on the list.
So, sir, seeing you on one matter, give me just a moment. So as you may know, it looks like you may be held on a probation violation matter out of Pima County Superior Court. What I'm seeing you on this morning, sir, relates to a failure to appear on a couple misdemeanor matters out of Tucson City Court. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. And so just a moment. All right. Given that you're being held on the Superior Court matter, sir, I'm also going to hold you on this. I'm going to set a $250 bond. Your next hearing is going to be a video review. It's going to be on Tuesday, 1:45 in the afternoon. And this is just being said, you might be able to resolve this Tucson City Court matter at that hearing if you want to do that. You have the right to take it to trial, of course, if you want to do that, assuming that you haven't already been convicted on it. But you know, the hearing on the 9th may help this part of it get resolved sooner if that's something that is of interest to you. So I'm holding you on a $250 cash secured bond. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir. And so a couple things. First of all, if you find yourself out of custody, which you probably won't because of the probation hold, really important to come back to court, because if you don't come back to court, a new warrant could issue for your arrest. And also, if you don't come back to court, trial could go forward in your absence. If you were convicted at that trial and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. I can note that. Can you check the hold?
So manage
You report. Yeah, felony.
all the way out.
Good morning.
Good morning. Please tell me your name.
Benjamin Navich.
Sorry, could you say it again?
Benjamin Navich.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Navich, sir, I'm seeing you on a couple charges that are alleged to be acts of domestic violence, specifically one count of disorderly conduct fighting and one count of assault. And then okay, so I've looked at the information in pretrial services, and it looks like Marina Ramirez is okay with your release from custody and okay with you returning to the shared residence, and does not object to your release from custody. So we'll talk about that part of it in a minute. But first of all, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this matter could be used against you. Given the victim's position and a relative lack of other concerns, the court is willing to release you, sir. And so that's what I'm going to do. You're going to be released on your own recognizance, but you must come back to Tucson City Court. And your next city court date, sir, is going to be on January 13th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You're going to get paperwork that says this.
Okay.
And so come back at that time. Very important, because if you do not come back, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You could also be taken to trial in your absence if you were convicted without being present. Then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction if you didn't show back up within 90 days and were sentenced and could be sentenced, if that makes sense. So in any event, I'm not appointing an attorney for you because I'm releasing you from custody, but you, of course, have the ability to go hire one if you want to do that. So I'll leave that up to you, sir, but I believe that covers it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Runway.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Dalton Renwick.
Right. Moment. It's Mr. Renwick. I've seen you on 2 charges alleged to be acts of domestic violence, both of which are alleged to have happened yesterday. First is failure to comply with a court order. The second is possession of drug paraphernalia. It does also look like you're pending in a matter out of Superior Court. It looks like you had a hearing about 10 days ago where you were present out of custody in front of Judge Miller. If I release you on this Tucson City Court case, are you willing to follow certain conditions I ask you to follow?
Absolutely.
So I am going to release you, sir. Your next court date is going to be on January 13th, 2026, 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be for an arraignment in front of Judge Million. And I'm ordering, sir, that you commit no further acts of domestic violence, possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs. And one other thing that I need to cover is that it looks like Miss Dixon, Jessica Dixon's input concerning release could not be gotten before this hearing this morning. So because of that, I am going to order that you have no contact with her. That can be addressed at that hearing on January 13th. If she is okay with you having contact with her, then that's something that could potentially be changed by the judge. But for today's sake, I'm ordering that you have no contact with Jessica Dixon and that you not go back to the victim's residence. And are you willing to follow all that, sir?
Yes, sir.
In light of that, I am going to order that you are released on this case. One of the things that I need to cover with you, sir, is that really important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, then a warrant could issue for your arrest and trial could go forward in your absence. If you were convicted in your absence and couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand?
Correct.
Have a good day.
Wheeler,
Hello, Your Honor.
Good morning. Would you please tell me your name?
Yes, sir. It's Regina Sweetland.
All right, just a moment. Okay, so Ms. Sweetland, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege 2 acts of domestic violence, specifically disorderly conduct and criminal damage, both of which are alleged to have occurred yesterday. I'm also seeing you in relation to a failure to appear in relation to a charge of disorderly conduct that is alleged to have happened back in June 8th of 2023. I'm going to plead not guilty on your behalf on all these matters, ma'am. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. If I release you, ma'am, are you willing to follow certain important conditions and come back to court?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first things first, I'm going to set your next hearing, and it's going to be on January 13th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in front of Judge Million for an arraignment. You're going to get paperwork that says all of this.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, this is, no problem. Just give me a second. I just got to check. Okay, so as I said, I am releasing you, ordering that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. You commit no further acts of domestic violence. So the victim in this case, Gerald Thompson, said on one hand that he does not welcome further contact, but he does not object to your release from custody. So in light of that, that's part of the reason why I'm releasing you. However, you may have no contact with Mr. Thompson. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm putting that on your conditions here. And so please have no contact with him and do not go back to the victim's residence. Was that a shared residence? Were you living there too, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that you can do is you can go back one time with law enforcement in order to retrieve any personal belongings that you have there that you may need to gather. There's a process for doing that. You're probably going to want to get a hold of the Tucson Police Department and have that happen. You can go into one of their substations. The jail may have more information on how to go about that. But in light of your willingness to not have any contact with Mr. Thompson and not return to the incident location except that one time with law enforcement, I am willing to release you, ma'am. Your next hearing,
Yes, sir.
January 13th, 1:30, as I said. Please come back at that time. If you don't appear, you could be, first of all, get a warrant for your arrest. Second of all, you could be convicted in your absence. If you cannot be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
That's the extension.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. How about yourself?
Morning.
Good morning.
You send me your name.
Benjamin Rambleth.
Mr. Rambla, this is your initial appearance, sir. You have been arrested on some charges. Specifically, one count of child or vulnerable adult abuse, one count of aggravated DUI with a passenger under the age of 15. And I'm also seeing you on a failure to appear out of Tucson, out of Marana from May of 2025. And so in order to prepare for this, first of all, you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of this. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you, sir. That is going to be the Pima County Public Defender's Office. And Mr. Santini, seated next to you for the purpose of this hearing, he's going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services. Anything further on that, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Santini?
Sounds like a good idea.
All right, so I'm willing to do that, sir, but I got a couple conditions that I need you to follow. Okay, so first of all, you will be released to pretrial services on the condition that you do not drive without a valid license and you consume or possess no illegal drugs. And that you also possess no firearms or weapons. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, in light of that, I'm going to release you. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on December 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So please stay in contact with your attorney because they'll have more information on what's going on with that hearing and so forth, okay? And then we need to talk about the Marana matter and then you will be done. So the Marana matter alleges a failure to appear on a driving on a suspended license allegation. I'm going to release you on that matter as well, sir. Your next court date is going to be January 7th, 10 o'clock in the morning in Marana City Court. I'm going to get you some paperwork that says that. Really important that you come back to that court date as well, because if you don't do so, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself arrested again in future. All right. Thank you, sir. You are excused.
Thank you.
So you'll be released today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No worries.
Good morning.
Um,
Tell me your name.
Rihanna Moran.
Just a moment. Okay, so Ms. Moran, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges that allege that you possessed a dangerous drug, you possessed a narcotic drug, you also possessed drug paraphernalia. You, of course, are presumed innocent as it relates to all of these charges. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the case could be used against you. You're going to have an attorney appointed to represent you, and it's going to be the Pima County Public Defender's Office is going, I'm sorry, it's actually legal advocate was checked. So that's right. That's what I was sorry. The Pima County legal advocate is going to represent you on that case, ma'am. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the interim complaint, the information from pretrial, and the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services. Ms. Mahalik, anything further on that?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Santini.
I think that sounds like a good idea, Judge.
All right, so that's what we're going to do, sir, or ma'am, excuse me. Sorry, it's been a long morning. We're going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but I want to tell you about a couple more things before we do that. So first of all, your preliminary hearing is going to be on December 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. It does also appear, ma'am, that you're eligible for a program called STEPS. So what STEPS is it's a pretty nifty little option where folks that may have a substance abuse problem can get some support for that substance abuse problem. And in conjunction with getting that support, if they do the program and they complete what's asked of them, it's possible that this charge could be dismissed and the whole thing would go away. So you don't get indicted, no felony on your record, that sort of thing. Is that something that you're interested in taking a look at, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. In light of that, I am going to set a STEPS hearing, and it's going to be on December 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's December 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's going to be in Pima County Superior Court. Really important that you come back to that hearing on December 11th, ma'am, because you'll learn more information about the STEPS program, and you can move forward with it if that's what you want to do. If you do not show up for that hearing, though, you could lose the ability to participate in STEPS. So really important to come back to that hearing because you can get a lot of good out of it if you are interested in going down that path. And then as it relates to the PH date, are you willing to waive time on that, Mr. Santini, given that I'm going to review the contract? All right. And then just a second. On that, is it on here? Sorry, I got it. 1:20. Thank you. So the preliminary hearing date in light of that time waiver is going to be on January 20th, 2026. Sorry about that. January 20th, 2026. But that STEPS hearing remains the same on December 11th. Okay. Ms. Moran, really important that you come back to court because not only is STEPS a great thing that you can take advantage of, but if you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could get arrested on that warrant, find yourself back in custody. Do you understand? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good day.
So we.
No worries.
You'll be released today. Good luck.
Valerie, you want to stand up?
Yes, please take a seat.
Good morning. Ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Stola Aranda.
You're here for your initial appearance. You are being seen on charges that allege that you committed an criminal damage that appears to be potentially connected to a driving under the influence allegation. And so you, ma'am, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Mr. Santini, seated next to you today, is going to help you out for the purpose of this hearing. I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation in order to prepare this morning. Looks like the state is recommending a $10,000 cash secured bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santini.
Judge, we'd be asking for Ms. Aranda's release to pretrial services this morning. I'd like to note that she is a 2-3 on the scale, so she's at the lower level. She's a lifelong Tucsonan, so she has long-time ties to the community. She is also full-time employed as a medical assistant, so she does not present to any way of a flight risk. Looking at her criminal history, she has no prior felony history, and her prior DUI is over a decade old, and it looks like she successfully completed probation in that case with no issue. So given that, Judge, I do think that weighs towards her release. She also has third-party custody from her daughter that's been confirmed. If you are inclined to hold Crystal, we would ask for a more reasonable bond of $1,100 given her indigency.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Aranda, I'm going to, regardless of whether I impose a bond or I don't, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, and you do not drive without a valid driver's license. Are you willing to not drive without a valid license, and are you willing to not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs?
Yes.
If you are willing to do that, and you're telling me you are, I am willing to release you. Given that you do have one prior driving under the influence, but it's over 10 years old and you successfully completed that, I am willing to do that. You are going to be released to pretrial services. Your next hearing is a preliminary hearing on December 24th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so please stay in contact with your attorney. The public defender's office is going to represent you during the pendency of this case. Please stay in contact with them because they can keep you posted on what's happening with the case and so forth. Really important that you come back to court for any court dates in the future, though, because if you do not do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Do you understand all this, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
That's what.
Arredondo.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name? All right, Ms. Arredondo, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you this morning on charges that allege that you committed organized retail theft and you possessed drug paraphernalia. Additionally, I'm seeing you on a failure to appear at a Tucson City Court on a count of trespass. So let's start with a felony. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of this. Anything you say can be used against you. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. That attorney, excuse me, is a legal defender's office. Mr. Santini is going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information for pretrial services. I reviewed the interim complaint and the state's recommendation. The state is recommending a $500 bond. Anything further on that, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Santini.
Judge Wing towards her release to pretrial services. These are nonviolent offenses. She's lived in Tucson for 15 years, so she has lots of ties to the community. Her felony history is what I would describe as minor nonviolent. She has marijuana possession in 2004, and then a organized retail theft from almost 10 years ago, 2016. So those would weigh towards a release, Judge. If you're not inclined to release her, we would ask for a $250 bond.
Thank you very much. The court is going to impose a $500 cash secured bond, given that I see is a 5 out of 5 on the failure to appear scale instrument, along with a 5 out of 5 on the new criminal activity scale. So it's a $500 cash secured bond. Ma'am, you're going to be released to pretrial services if you post to that bond. So if you post the bond, pretrial services will be handling your supervision. And so your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's on December 15th, 1:30 in the afternoon. As a condition of any release, ma'am, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, that you do not return to the incident location. And in fact, do not go back to any Family Dollar store, period. Do you understand that? Do you understand, ma'am?
She said yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I did not hear it on this end. All right, in light of that, that covers it. Just one last thing, ma'am. Really important that you come back to court, because if you don't come back to court, then a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. We do have the city court matter, so I'm going to talk about that real quick. That alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a criminal trespass charge. On that matter, I'm actually going to release you. And your next hearing is going to be on January 5th. 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in front of Judge Hale. You're going to get paperwork that says this. It's going to be for an arraignment. So I'm also going to order that you not go back to the incident location associated with that criminal trespass, which appears to be an apartment at, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it's a residence at 6148 South Southland. So, and that's alleged to have happened on March 14th, 2024. So please don't go back to that South Southland address. I'm releasing you on this case. And so important that you come back to court, because I talked to you about what could happen, getting a warrant and so forth. Also, if you don't come back to court on the city court matter, you could be convicted in your absence. Trial could go forward and without you being there. And if you're not there for trial, and could it be sentenced within 90 days, and you could lose your ability to appeal that conviction. All right, I believe that covers it, ma'am. You are excused. Let's do an NTR. Sorry.
It's- That's what we, yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Adrian Brasher.
All right, just a moment, sir. So this is your initial appearance. You, sir, have been arrested on 2 charges. The first alleges that you possessed a weapon while being a prohibited possessor, and then you are also impersonating a peace officer. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to these charges, sir. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the Pima County legal defender to represent you, sir. Mr. Santini is going to help you out this morning. Is seated to your left. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint and pretrial services information and the state's recommendation, which is a $5,000 bond. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
Your Honor, the state would just like to point out that this was an individual that was impersonating a police officer and actively trying to stop individuals in the community. And I think that that poses a risk to members of the community at large. Given his criminal history and his failures to appear, the state is standing by the $5,000 recommendation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Santini.
So, Judge weighing towards Mr. Brasher's release, he has lived here for 25 years. He does have confirmed third-party support from his girlfriend, who is willing to take third-party custody of him. He also has verified housing and employment. Notably, his employment is at the hotel where this occurred. This was, I think, a security. He works security for that hotel as well as the front desk. So it's not that he's on the streets pulling people over in a car. I think that this is I think that this was on private property. So this isn't, pulling people over on the highway. This is at the hotel. That's not for probable cause, but that's just some more information on the facts of the case. So given that information, Judge, we would ask for his release. If you're not inclined to release him, Judge, we would ask for a more reasonable bond of $500.
Thank you very much. I am going to impose that $5,000 bond. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. Pretrial services, if you are released, if you're able to post that bond, sir, and you get released. I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, period. It looks like you have you have 3 prior felony convictions, 2 or 3 of which appear to be violent in nature. So I'm not sure why you had a firearm at all, although you are presumed innocent. So in any event, possess no firearms or weapons if you find yourself out of custody. Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not go back to the Grand Lux Hotel, period. It just doesn't sound like it's a good place for you to be, sir. And so I'm appointing the legal defender to represent you. And so I believe that covers it. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing on December 15th at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so I've set that hearing. And sir, it's important that you come back to court. If you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. Okay. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Just one moment. That is his residence. He does live on property at that hotel. If the court order doesn't change, we can try, to do a motion to modify or to see something else, but just wanted to inform the court of that.
Give me a second.
If that's what I'm working.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I'm willing to lift that condition, but again, just to really, really emphasize it, you are to possess no firearms or weapons, period. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm willing to allow you to return to the Grand Lux. But again, no weapons. And so I believe that covers it. And you are excused. Thank you.
Can I get a court date on that, Judge?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a preliminary hearing is December 15th at 1:30.
Thank you.
You got it.
Usually it depends, but if Redwood.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Darrell Edwards.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Edwards. This is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some different matters. So actually, it's one charge alleging that you possessed a weapon as a prohibited possessor You, sir, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case could be used against you. I am appointing the Pima County, it is the public defender to represent you, sir. Mr. Santini is going to help you out for the purpose of this hearing. And I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is a $10,000 bond. Ms. Mahalik, anything further?
Your Honor, at the time of the submittal, the PTS report wasn't done. If I may just have one moment.
Sure.
It looks like he's a 4 and a 3 on the NCA FTA with prior felony convictions and prior failures to appear. So I guess given the full circumstance and the involvement of a weapon, the state would recommend a $5,000 bond.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Santini.
Judge Wing towards Mr. Edwards' release this morning. He's a lifelong Keystone. He is gainfully employed as a business owner. That information has been verified by his mother, and his mother has also indicated that she's willing to serve third-party custody. So I think between his mother and pretrial services, he'd be very well supervised in the community. He hasn't had any new charges since 2016. And has been out of trouble since his and off paper since 2019 when his last case resolved. So for those reasons, Judge, we'd ask for his release to pretrial services. If you're not inclined to release him to pretrial, we would ask for a more reasonable $1,100 bond given his indigency.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I am willing to release you to pretrial services, but certain conditions are going to come along with that. You may possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You may possess no firearms or weapons. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. I probably said that already. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 24th at 1:30. Please stay in contact with your attorney because they will have more to report as far as the case plays out. And that takes care of it. Other than to let you know, sir, really important that you come back to court because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you very much. You are excused. Good morning. Could you please tell me your name?
Anthony Izagari.
All right, just a moment. Do we have a file in here? Should have it. Do you know what? It's 14. Okay, here we go. It's just got Mr. Pulse's information in it. Gotcha. Just a second. Just a moment. That's another. Oh, okay. Got it. Now I got it. Okay. Tell me your true name again, sir. You just said it, but could you say it again?
Anthony Izagari Pulse.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so Mr. Izagari Pulse, you sir are here on for what's called an initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some different things. The first thing we're going to talk about is a possession of a narcotic drug. That's a new felony arrest that you're being seen on this morning, sir. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to this and anything else we're going to talk about. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, sir, and that attorney is going to be the public defender's office. I'm also seeing you on three failures to appear at a Tucson City Court relating to charges including possession of drug paraphernalia and criminal gas. In order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I reviewed the information provided by pretrial, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation. Looks like the state is recommending release to pretrial services with the steps hearing being set. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Santini.
That sounds good, and we'll waive time on the PH date.
Okay, so I'm willing to do that. But Mr. Izagiri, I need you to know this is a very close call for me. And the reason why is not because I think people that get caught with small possessions of drugs should be held in jail, but I tend to think that people that don't come to court should be held in jail. And you have seemed to have a pattern of not coming to court. And we're going to talk about that more when we get to your city court cases. So if I release you on this matter, sir, will you come back to court?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In light of that, I'm going to release you to pretrial services on the felony matter. And so as part of that order, you're going to be ordered to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons. And so one other thing we're going to do, sir, is we're going to set what's called a steps hearing, but let me talk to you about what that is real quick, just because it's a pretty good program. And so first of all, sir, what steps is it's basically a program for people that may have a substance abuse problem. It allows them to get them some support as it relates to that possible problem. And if they take care of what the program asks of them and they successfully complete it, then the charges could go away and the case could be dismissed without you ever being indicted, which is very good. Because I don't see any other felony criminal history for you. So it's possible that that could, help keep your record clear or clearer than it otherwise would be. Is that something that you're interested in, sir?
Very much so, sir.
Okay, excellent. Glad to hear it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set a steps hearing. It's going to be 1 week from today. And that's on December 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be in Superior Court on the 3rd floor in front of Judge Miller. And so please come back to court 1 week from today at Superior Court and see Judge Miller and get more information on that steps program, because it's a great thing and it could help prevent you from getting indicted. We're setting a preliminary hearing too. That's going to be on Monday, or I'm sorry, that's not, I think that is, it's on January 20th. Let's just say that. It's on Tuesday, January 20th, 1:30 in the afternoon is that preliminary hearing. And so please stay in contact with your attorney as well, sir, because if you don't show up for court, then a warrant could issue for your arrest. Speaking of which, let's talk about the city court warrants. I'm seeing you on 3 warrants out of Tucson City Court relating to possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of drugs in a school, drug-free school zone, and then criminal trespass in the 3rd degree. I'm willing to release you on these matters as well, sir. Your next court date is going to be on January 6th, or January 5th, excuse me, sorry, January 5th at 2:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in front of Judge Cranshaw. You're going to get paperwork that says this. But again, sir, really important that you come back to court because these warrants will keep stacking up if you don't do so. We're going to do possess or consume no alcoholic beverages as it relates to the city court stuff. And this is also the time set for your arraignment on these city court cases, sir. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to them. Also, it's important that you come back to court because not only have I said that a few times, but also because if you don't do that on these city court cases, you could be convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to be sentenced and have your conviction appealed. You understand that?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to get paperwork that says this. So basically, it's just important to come back to court because if you miss court hearings in the future, they could take you to trial without you ever even being there. You have a right to be there, but if you don't show up, then trial can happen without you. And so if it happens without you and then you didn't show back up 90 days after that trial happened, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. So it just causes more problems down the road. So please just come back to court. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Evan Kennedy.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a couple matters. The first is involves new charges here local out of Pima County on criminal damage allegation. Also seeing you on a fugitive warrant matter that appears to be out of Bexar County, which I think is in Texas.
Yes, sir. San Antonio.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you go. So as to all of these matters, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you on the new felony arrest that you're being seen on, sir. And so Mr. Santini is going to help you out this morning. He's seated to your left. I reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, reviewed the information in the interim complaint, and also the state's recommendation, which appears to be $500 as to the criminal damage allegation, and then $50,000 as it relates to the Texas extradition matter. Mr. Santini, or Ms. Mahalik, anything further on either of these?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Santini.
So, Judge, given the probation, I believe that's going to pose a hold because it's an extraditable warrant. We'd be asking for nominal bonds on both.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment.
So, I didn't ask for your release.
So I'm looking at the NCIC information. It does reflect that Mr. Kennedy is wanted out of Texas as it relates to a probation violation matter. And for that reason, the law requires that I hold Mr. Kennedy without bond as it relates to that matter. As to the criminal damage matter, I am going to impose a $500 secured bond, so you get credit on that. And so cash or secured $500 on the criminal damage matter. Sir, if you do find yourself out of custody on that, I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You possess or consume no, just a second. Possess or consume no spray paint or paint pens. And that's a $500 bond on that case, sir. Legal defender is appointed to represent you. And then all right. Your next hearing on the fugitive warrant matter is going to be on December 9th, 2025, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be a hearing on the fugitive warrant matter. And then on the criminal damage matter, your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing on December 15th. And so that covers it. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Thank you.
That's all. Yeah, appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah, Ramirez. Let's be there, please.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Warrant, sir, could you please tell me your name?
Anthony Ramirez.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, I'm seeing you this morning on your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, possessed a dangerous drug, possessed drug paraphernalia. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to all these allegations. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. That attorney is going to be from the legal defender's office. Mr. Santini is going to help you out for the purpose of this morning's hearing. In order to prepare, I've reviewed the interim complaint, the state's recommendation, which is a $1,500 cash secured bond, and also pretrial info. Ms. Mahalik, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Santini.
Judge, given the nature of the charges, his 3.3 rating on the scales, the fact that he's a lifelong Tucsonan, he does have part-time employment in housing, and it looks like he is eligible for the STEP screening. I would ask that he be released to the supervision of pretrial services.
Thank you. So, sir, given the nature of the offenses, I am willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. I say that in spite of what appears to be some notable criminal history. However, that criminal history is nonviolent in nature, typically appears to be fueled by a drug addiction. Additionally, sir, one thing I want to talk to you about is it looks like you're eligible for a program called STEPS. What STEPS is it's a program for folks that may have a substance abuse problem that allows them to hook up with a treatment provider, hook up with other support and so forth. And then if you successfully complete the program, it's possible that the case gets dismissed and you don't get indicted. Is that something that you're interested in learning more about, sir?
I'm very much interested in that, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm very much interested in that.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
yes, I am.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I'm older now, so being a little bit older, a little bit more wiser. I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm just saying I'm a little bit more wiser. So I look at my steps different. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm glad to hear that you're interested in that. So I am going to release you, sir, to pretrial services, but a couple court dates are coming up. The big one for you is 1 week from today. That's going to be on December 11th, 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in Superior Court. So downtown, it's going to be on the 3rd floor in front of Judge Miller, Mr. Santini, or you're going to get information that tells you this. But really important that you come back 1 week from today at 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's when that steps hearing is. You can learn more about that program and learn more about what needs to be done to potentially have your case dismissed, get some drug treatment and so forth. So please come back to court for that. I'm also setting a preliminary hearing date. That's going to be on January 20th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'm also ordering, sir, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You possess no firearms or weapons. I've appointed the legal defender's office, and I believe that that covers it. Really important that you come back to court, sir, because if you do not do that, then a warrant could issue for your arrest. You could find yourself back in custody. All right?
Yes, sir.
Have a good day.
You too.
So you're getting out today. It's your, make sure you're there. This is the good run. So get these guys called.
Thank you, man.
No worries, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ferguson.
Good morning. Just please tell me your name.
Can I read it?
All right, just a moment. Ms. Turkington, I'm seeing you on a few different matters. I'm seeing you in a couple felony matters. Also seeing you on a variety of failures to appear out of Pima County Justice Court and then one out of Tucson City Court. So you have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of this stuff. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint, as it relates to the felony matters, I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And we're going to talk about the misdemeanors in a moment. But as it relates to the felony matters, in order to prepare, I have reviewed the information in the interim complaints, the information supplied by pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is a $5,000 bond as it relates to each of the two cases. Anything further, Ms. Mahala?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Santini.
Judge weighing towards her release. She is young, 24 years old. She's been in Tucson for 2 years. She has part-time employment as a laborer. And it looks like these are nonviolent offenses, so I don't believe she's a danger to the community. If you are inclined to hold her, Judge, we would ask for a more reasonable bond of $1,100 given her indigency.
Thank you very much. Ms. Turkington, I am going to hold you on a $5,000 cash secured bond as it relates to these two felony matters. It's going to be a concurrent bond across the two felony matters out of Pima County Superior Court. So if you post that bond, ma'am, you're going to be released to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. You possess no firearms or weapons. Have no contact with the victim as it relates to that theft of means allegation. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 15th, 1:30 in the afternoon. And then I am noting a hold, just a second. Okay. Current. Okay. Okay, so that takes care of the felony matters. We're going to talk about the misdemeanor stuff now.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting. May I also request no contact with the co-defendant in the felony matter?
Yes,
Thank you.
you got it. So as to the theft of means allegation, ma'am, you are ordered not to have any contact with the actually, just a second.
No contact with him anyway.
Okay.
Are you talking about Christopher?
You know, actually, second. Talking about Luis Carlos Velarde Esparza.
Okay.
So please have no contact with him. And I'm going to indicate that in
That's the correct event.
Yeah.
that's actually the other, it's the drug matter. I thought I had them mixed up. Okay, so that takes care of the felony stuff. Next, we have the Justice Court matters. I'm going to order you released on the Justice Court matters. However, I am going to set you're going to have a hearing on that. It's going to be on December 15th, 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be in arraignment. This is true for all of the Justice Court matters. Okay, and then finally we have the City Court matter. The City Court matter alleges a failure to appear in relation to charges involving criminal trespass in the first degree, a couple counts of that, theft by control, possession of drug paraphernalia. This is all stuff that is alleged to have happened back on September 3rd, 2025. I'm going to release you on that case as well. So you are, of course, being held on the felony. If you still are in custody, then you will be seen for a video review in Tucson City Court. That's going to be on January 5th at 2026 at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm ordering you to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs as it relates to the Tucson City Court stuff. And then that covers it. One last thing I need to tell you, ma'am, really important that you come back to court. If you do not come back to court, then a warrant could issue for arrest on one or more of these matters. Also, as it relates to the Tucson City Court matter, this is the time set for your arraignment. I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf as it relates to any charges and allegations in that city court case. It's important that you come back to court, not only because I talked to you about the warrants, but if you don't show up on that city court case, man, the trial could go forward in your absence, and you could lose your ability to appeal a conviction if you were convicted when you weren't there and you didn't show up within 90 days. Thank you very much. You are excused.
Mr. Velarde.
Good morning, sir.
Or
Please tell me your name.
Luis Carlos Velarde Esparza.
All right, so Mr. Velarde Esparza, I'm seeing you here at your initial appearance. You've been arrested on charges that allege possession of a dangerous drug for sale, transporting a dangerous drug for sale, possession of a narcotic drug for sale, transportation of a narcotic drug for sale, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf on all these matters. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County legal defender to represent you, sir, on this case. Mr. Santini, seated next to you, is going to help you out for the purpose of the hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I review the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and then again, the state's recommendation, which is pretrial services release. Anything further, Ms. Mahalik?
Just no victim or just no codependent contact, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Santini.
Pretrial sounds good.
Okay, just a moment. I am willing to release you to pretrial services, but I need certain conditions to be followed. So I'm going to talk to you about them, and then I'm going to ask you if you're willing to follow them. So first of all, you're going to be ordered to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the co-defendant, Ms. Turkington, that is Hannah Turkington.
Done. Well,
And are you willing to follow those conditions, sir?
yes, sir.
Okay, in light of that, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, December 24th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney, sir, because they will be able to keep you posted on what's happening with the case and so forth. Important for you to come back to court at future court dates too, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
All right, Judge, I think I'm good, man. Be excused.
Hey, everyone, may be excused. Have a good rest of your Thursday.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
Judge.
Your Honor. You as well.
All righty. Thank you very much.